What the... Hero? What do you think you're doing here? Don't tell me they're looking for you out there. And you seriously came here of all places. We're supposed to be mortal enemies given our history and all. And you really just barge in here and... Oh, for fuck's sake. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. There you go. Looks like you're back now. Stop struggling. You're getting my damn lab all bloody. At least let me finish tending to your wound, hero. Yes, I had to restrain you. I don't want you making a fool of yourself and attempt to fight your way out of here just yet. As amusing as it would be to watch you fight in this state, I seriously would prefer it if you didn't mess up my lab or alert anyone by making unnecessary noise. Seriously, you have to be either really desperate or insanely stupid to try and hide from my own minions in my lab. Perhaps both. Probably both. Oh, don't look at me like that. Did you really think I'd just glance over it? I know you didn't have much time to think it out, but it is a flat-out insult for my self-declared arch-nemesis to be stumbling around in my lab, all bloody like this. Or maybe it's supposed to be some sort of twisted compliment where you think there's still some good in me? You're lucky I didn't wipe you out the moment you entered. Get that still good idea out of your head this instant. I simply did not feel like blowing up my lab with myself in it. All because you felt it was smart to infiltrate the base and get your ass handed to you. Then again, I always did feel as though you had a soft spot for me, somewhere behind that heroic costume. Don't even try to hide it, hero. You're not sly. Don't raise your eyebrow at me like that. Note that, especially now you're tied to a chair in my bloody lab, you're entirely at my mercy. I thought you were smarter than this, but it seems you really trust me enough to come in here after getting your ass beat. Or maybe, maybe, you really just wanted me to finish you off. What an honor, truly. Stop glaring. 'Tis was a jest, dimwit. But I have to admit, I enjoy our fights, and prefer to take you out fair and square. Otherwise, what would be the fun in it? And that's the only reason I even allowed your eyes to open again. I am not usually this gracious towards others, so do not expect this kind of treatment in the future. I could have ended you so easily. You really have far too much trust in people around you, hero. To your luck, I may be a villain, but I'm not a dirty cheater like most of my minions are. They seriously messed you up, didn't they? Yeah, I bet they used your kindness to get the better of you. Just so they could say they killed or captured an infamous hero. It's stupid, really. I'm not sure why I even bother with them. These days, it's quite difficult to find anyone who actually gives a shit about the state of this forsaken world. You seem surprised. Didn't think an evil bad villain like me would care about this kind of stuff, did you? You seriously thought I was actually just here to get world domination or whatever the villains do in movies? Seriously, those government officials really have their grip on you, foolish hero. I bet you think I kill orphans for fun, or some other bullshit like that. Or that I'm building a moon base so I can destroy the Earth. Seriously, what have these people been telling you? Truth is, I am not like that. We're really not all that different, you and I. I mean, both of us wish to improve the world. But I have already come to realize that at the state the government is in, it's near impossible to change things for the better. You think the way of handling this is to ward off evil and protect your holy politicians of any bad that would want to harm them. I have realized that being good isn't worth shit anymore. And the only way to actually get this done is by overthrowing the government and giving the people hope again. I see how much you care about the people around you. You may be one of the only heroes that hasn't been corrupted by the capitalistic money-controlled shithole of a world yet. But your naivety is almost just as painful to watch. You really want to see the best in people, don't you? Is that why you've been going so soft on me? Did you think you can still fix me? Oh, you poor, naive little hero. That's not how this world works. And eventually, you'll have to learn that. It's not all black and white, and not everyone can be saved. People are rotten, darling. All they care about is their own gain, and nothing but it. You think you're doing good for the sake of the world, but really, you're just so much of a people pleaser, you forget to care about what happens to you. No, I don't give a shit about what happens to you, outside of our fun and rivalry. It's just such a waste of your talent to fight for what your corrupt little government portrays as right. Have you ever questioned what they've been teaching you, or who you're really protecting? Have I ever had any impact on poor people? I admit, I have been taking in children, but not to make them my guinea pigs. I have been raising those lost kids. They had nowhere to go, no parents, no way of feeding or educating themselves. Do you know why? Because of your goddamn government. I was the one teaching those kids how to read. I was the one giving them shelter, giving them hope. Have you ever wondered what's been going on in your government? All the corruption, the money laundering, the under-the-table bullshit. People fucking themselves into better positions, taking away from actual talent. Exploiting the poor and unfortunate. Using people like you, draining your talent to make you a mindless slave for their lawless politics. You, my dear, could be so much more. Oh, keep your sorry-ass eyes off me. I'm not sympathizing, simply stating facts. I've told you before I have no interest in you or your kind. Tough. I have to admit, you do somehow spark my interest. Perhaps if you were to join me, I'd keep you as my right hand. I'd treat you well, and anyone who's ever dared to lay a hand on you or use you for any way, I'll show them a whole new world of pain. Together, we could kickstart a new world. Don't be scared now, darling. We'd make a pretty decent team, don't you think? Yes, your dirty little government tyrants would be quite disappointed to see you in my arms. Or, by my side, rather. But think about the good we could do. You could punish every bad person, steal from the rich, and spread their wealth amongst the poor. A world where nobody has to live in fear of being able to feed themselves the next day. Nobody would have to turn to crime to afford a living. And us, on top of it all, assuring everyone is being treated right. We could create such a beautiful world, just you and me, getting rid of all the bad, the fear, the shame, the sadness. We would create a world where policemen could be trusted and judges wouldn't favor criminals over their victims simply because they were men. A world where nobody would feel entitled to anything that isn't theirs, and where everyone could live free and happy. Doesn't that sound tempting? Oh, darling, you really mustn't be surprised like this. Terrified, even of my rambles. As a hero, you too must realize how most criminals that actually end up in prison are but small fish, wishing to feed themselves or their family. And those who are actually causing all the issues are hoarding money and paying their way out of jail, oftentimes even making cops work for them. Isn't it just a terrifying thought? That kind of people secretly pulling the strings. But not anymore. No longer. I'm tired of it. I'm sure you're tired of it too. So, join me, darling.